Hello everyone, and I want to give you all a quote that is from J.W. Stephens that is say, "Be the person that your pet thinks you are." They will never think anything bad about you. So today the title of the topic that I want to review is about the wild animals entered the villagers' settlements. For sure, I believe that we are often to heard in television or maybe watching in social media or just reading in the virtual magazine about the wild animal that is entered to the villagers' settlements or even there is many case that the wild animals eating the livestock or maybe just attack the human or even break the house of the villagers. So today to talk about that, I will be in the neutral side, which is I will telling to you about the causes that is came from the animal and the effect for the human life. So there is many case and many animals that is being in that case. I've searched that and I found like there's a crocodile, there is also the wild boar, elephants, monkey, and there is one animal that is very common in this case. That is tiger. Because I think it's one of the common reasons too. Tiger is doesn't really have their own prey anymore. So whenever they don't have prey, they don't have the food. Whenever they don't have the food, they can't to live anymore. So as a living being animal, because he is living and he is alive, they have their instinct, and their instinct is to get their own food. And what is their own food? It is like they are carnivore, right? So they must and should to eat meat. So as a living being organism, tiger would have an instinct to get their own prey. Tiger is have instinct to still alive, and tiger is want to eat food so they can alive anymore. They can have a kids, they can have someone who is can to continue the life. And to get that food, they look at anywhere. Even whenever they was looking at in their habitat, so they came furthermore to their habitat. But whenever they arrive in that place or in that habitat, it is changed. It's different from the start. It's different from the first time they ever see it. It is changed. It is different. There is so much, or I don't know. It's there is so many a human, someone who is doesn't look like them, someone that is doesn't like them. Honestly, human it's not their prey, but however, honestly, in my opinion, tiger was just like looking for prey that he can get. But whenever the human want to kill them to protect themselves, tiger was trying to protect himself too, and it is making their attack. And of course, human as tiger, we will always know that tiger will won, and it's happened. And then because of their instinct, tiger that is won is eating the human meat. The second one, I want to give it to the elephants. Honestly, the main reason for elephants that I got is it is because their migration way. Honestly, migration way was, if you know the migration or if you know the route for animals to looking for their food or even to like just walking around with their friends, it is the same way every day, every years, every day, something like that. Every time, every period, they have the same route. So whenever I've ever heard about the news, elephants was just like basically just looking for food in their same route every years. But surprisingly, at that time, at that years, It is different from the years ago that they are true this way. The human, the villagers that is doesn't know about it is the root of the animal elephants. They think elephants want to attack them. They try to attack the elephants because they want to protect themselves and their villagers too. But as a living being anymore, and it is instinct from the animal, from the living being, whenever human making the new project that is just doesn't really care about the environmental but cares about the human and cares about the wealth and money, that's happened. Habitat of the animal was disturbance, so it's habitat disturbance that is making they all happens. For the next, let's talk about the victims or the effects in this case. There's a couple sources that is saying um, there's a human that is killed by the animals like tiger, and also there is also a kid that is being a victim of three monkey. The second one is the house of the villagers' houses was broken. The third is severe trauma. So it is basically like heavy trauma, which is I've ever heard about. Honestly, I just looking for this news that is there is a grandfather and grandmother and they are a mate, which is I've ever heard about. Honestly, I just looking for this news that is there is a grandfather and grandmother and they are a mate, and then they are villagers, and somehow the elephants was killed this grandmother, so there is only grandfather that is left, and also the houses was broken by the elephants too. That's making the victims of this case, which is grandfather, was lost his mate and also lost his house because the house was so broken that is making deeply trauma in his soul. The fourth is financial loss. Like I've said before, if the grandfather was lost his house, then to build again or to repair the house and cost a much of money to get it back like the first. I want to give you a one case again about there is a tiger who is looking for the prey, right? And then the tiger was saw a cow, local cow, Indonesian cow, which is Indonesian cow. It is have its owner. So honestly, it is just a livestock. And whenever the tiger was down and reached the cow and eat it, I think the owner was so sad about it because it is the model continue his business, right? And it is lost, I think, more 10 million. So that's why it is a financial loss. It's being the effect. And I think the last message for you is, in my opinion, I just want to talking to you that sometimes I learn about animals or learn about how nature works, and it was incredible and unpredicted also. But the thing I just want to tell to you is sometimes the wild animal is doesn't like you are think about. Tiger doesn't really want to eat human meat. I think tiger was love their prey like cow or maybe goat or deer and etc. They doesn't really love about human meat. But like I've said before, whenever we as a human want to attack them, they also want to protect themselves. So whenever we fight, I think we will always lose because they were so strong. And whenever they won, like I've said before, they doesn't really have the thought like we have, and they just have their instinct to stay alive. He must to eating us so they can live anymore. They can continue their life. They doesn't really want to eat human. Seriously. Trust me. So for the last, if you are someone that is having a trusted information about the animals, about the nature, or about something, or you have a knowledge about something that is I talk or I review about this case, you can drop comment below to talking the furthermore, or if you feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And if you have further information or further knowledge to complete my review, then just feel free to talk about it in the comments or anything you can talk to. And last but not least, so seriously, it is the last time I want to talk to you. I'm so sorry if my English was bad, and sometimes if I doing much of mistakes, I'm so sorry. Feel free to correct me, and I'm still learn every day. I learn, and thank you so much for listening. Bye bye all.